guys, and welcome to the Chosen League podcast, where fire sports content is the name of the game. I'm your host, Devon, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about last night's game, Charlotte Hornets versus the San Antonio Spurs. But before we get into all that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. Let's get into it. The Charlotte Hornets have ended a six-game losing streak. That's got to be a tough one. 6 games. 6 games. But they ended their 6 game losing streak last night as they defeated the San Antonio Spurs 124 to 120. Sadly for the San Antonio Spurs, due to the great performance that they had, it wasn't enough to beat the Charlotte Hornets, especially at home. This is an away game for the Spurs. Plus, they don't have their number one pick, generational talent, Victor Wembayama. So, other players have to step up. So first, we're going to start off with the Charlotte Hornets. Honestly, in the first half, they struggled, with turnovers. They had 5 turnovers in the first half. Brandon Miller, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges were the primary scorers in the first half. Lamelo Ball, he was doing much more of the assisting, and he was, putting up points here and there. Miles Bridges really gave the Hornets a spark moving into the second half with that three point shot, which resulted in a buzzer beater. As he goes down to create space, he creates space, takes a sidestep, gets away from his defender to take the open shot, makes it. Also, you know, Terry Rozier with a 3 point shot in the second quarter. So everything scoring wise was going good for the Hornets. They were getting their 3 point shots, their mid range shots. They struggled around the rim a bit when they were double teamed. Like prime example, Miles Bridges or Terry Rozier. 9 times out of 10, if they go to the basket, they will finish. But on certain possessions, they will go down the court, they'll attack the basket, they try to get there. Spurs players are all around them. They try to kick it out to a teammate, ends up being a turnover, or they just flat out miss the shot. And also with that in mind, you know, you live with it. You have to live with some shots. You live with some shots. You make them, you miss them. It is what it is. And also one more thing before I go into the Spurs, the tempo. They were playing way too fast. As prime example, Miles Bridges. If your teammate inbounds you the ball, he passes you the ball, you're coming down the court. Why are you coming at 100 miles per hour? You have to be able to scan the floor and make sure your teammates is in the spot where they can get the ball and they can make a play. Don't try to take it in yourself because a lot of times you take it in yourself. And another thing, ball security was a big thing. They didn't protect the ball, and that's why they were losing. That's why they resulted in turnovers as Miles Bridges was attacking the basket, trying to make a shot in the paint. Slow down. They just had to slow down and play their style of basketball. Just slow down, play a slow tempo, let everybody, recruit and get to their spot. And moving on to the Spurs, I mean, with the Spurs in mind, the mid-range scoring was going great for them. Turnovers were an issue, ball security was an issue. A big issue for them was defense and also forcing a lot of shots. Vassell, we get it. He's a shooter. Johnson is a shooter. But force you cannot force your shots. If it's not going to fall, it's just not going to fall. Find other ways to create opportunities for your teammates. Either if you're shooting, if you're poor in terms of shooting, if you can't shoot the ball, okay, let's rebound. Let's play some defense. Let's get some assists. Give it give the ball to your teammates. It's just that simple. The ball movement wasn't there for the Spurs in the first half. They just couldn't find themselves defensively because every time Terry Rozier taking the three, Brandon Miller taking the three, they were so busy trying to lock down the paint that they weren't really guarding the perimeter. So with the Spurs in mind, in the first half, wasn't all that great. But with the Hornets in the second half, and like I told you guys before, the buzzer beater from Miles Bridges gave the Hornets that spark. PJ Washington with scoring back to back. Lamelo Ball started to come alive in the second half with his scoring. LaMelo Ball is basically all in one. He's one of one. He is him. He is that type of guy. He's basically their franchise player. LaMelo Ball knows what to do in clutch situations. When his team is trailing, he can give you those scoring opportunities. And the second chance opportunities for the Hornets continue to keep flowing, just like they did in the first half. They had plenty of second chance opportunities and made them count. Just like with now in the second half, they had so many second chance opportunities. Prime example: Terry Rozier takes a 3-point shot at the wing and he misses it. The putback dunk from Brandon Miller was electrifying. It got the crowds up out of their seats. It gave, it basically gave the Hornets more and more momentum going into that second half. And when your teammate gets a putback dunk or a putback shot and it goes in, it's great. So with Miller in mind, he had a putback dunk. Melo had 2 3-pointers in the game. And the 2 3-pointers he had, he's coming down the court and he just pulls up for one. The second 3-point shot he took, it just blows my mind because watching that game last night, the the utmost confidence he has in his shot, like he really fooled his defender. He was in the corner. He's just casually dribbling the ball, and then out of nowhere, he just throws the high arcing 3-point shot, and it was just so effortless. And he makes the 3-point shot. And then also what really helped the Hornets moving forward, the reverse layup by LaMelo, giving his team keeping the lead alive. They were drawing fouls. LaMelo Ball went to the line. Terry Rozier went to the line. Miles Bridges went to the line. Brandon Miller hit 2 clutch free throws that really put a stamp on this game and gave the Hornets the win. And so it's like the Spurs, all they could do was foul because the game clock is in the seconds. They're at seconds right now. And so with the Spurs, Vassell is hitting his shots. He's a great volume shooter. He can shoot the three. And the thing about Vassell is that this tough shot he took a one-legged 3-point shot, and it was a high arcing shot. Top of the backboard goes in. Sakan, their guard, other guard, who he shot an open 3-point shot and made it. The only thing that hurt the Spurs in the second half is they continued to turn the ball over. And also, let's not forget, if you guys watched the game last night, there was a play where the ball, it was out on the Spurs. Greg Popovich decides to challenge it, and they lose the challenge. Now it was a tough one, so it was a shot by the Spurs. They missed the shot. So you got Terry Rozier right there. It looks like Terry Rozier touched the ball, but he really didn't. It bounced off of the Spurs player's hand, the back of the Spurs player's hand, and it was out. So that's another one that hurt the Spurs. Also, Zach Collins, he was drawing fouls. He had 2 trips to the free throw line. His first trip to the free throw line, he was 1 of 2. That hurt the Spurs. But when he went to the free throw line his second time, he ended up getting 2 of 2. He made 2 free throws. So the thing about the Spurs, the key highlights for the Spurs in the second half was their scoring from Vassell, the fast breaks from both teams. It was a back and forth battle, and Victor Wembayama sitting and watching this happen. Keldon Johnson, attacking the basket, and that's another player we don't talk about a lot. We don't hear much about. Keldon Johnson is also a scorer himself. He can attack the basket. He can shoot threes. You know, he's more so, I would say, a streaky shooter at times. When he's hot, he's going to get it going. But in all honesty, the Spurs did all they can, but sadly, the Hornets went at home and they did what they were supposed to do. But anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of this game. What were your thoughts on the Hornets? Did you expect the Hornets to win this game, or did you expect it to be another a 7 game losing streak? Or what do you expect from the Hornets moving forward? What do you expect from the Spurs? What can the Spurs pick off of this game? What are some things that they can get better at moving forward? Once again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. I'm Devin, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show.